Welcome back to Mastering Post-Production Sound. My name is Joel D. Catalan. I'm an Emmy-nominated sound re-recording mixer and industry coach. And today I'm joined with my friend, my colleague, my brother, Aaron Levy. Aaron is an awesome re-recording mixer, supervisor, and we've been working together for this last year on some projects. And today we're gonna have a conversation about mixing and how it's subjective. And Aaron has been doing this for a very, very long time. So I'm gonna interview Aaron. We're gonna ask you a couple questions. So Aaron,
hello everybody.
Say hello to the people.
Dodgers.
Dodgers, yes, we are in our Dodger gear because we're celebrating the World Championship. So we're having a good time today on the mix stage, and we always have a good time on the mix stage. But one thing I was thinking about, and something I want Aaron to kind of illuminate and talk about, is the idea of working with filmmakers and how our job is to bring our best self when it comes to technicality, it comes to mixing, but ultimately in the end, it's the person who's sitting right there. So can you tell me, have you ever been in a situation where you've had to kind of have a relationship with the director and build sonic trust with them, and how does that look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens almost every mix on every project, whether it's a film, a short film, a TV show, anything. I mean, you're always trying to, capture what you're feeling during a mix, but also provide what the producers, directors, showrunners, creators are trying to also, how they want to tell the story. And there's many, many times where we've come up with an idea that maybe wasn't what they originally came up with, but they were just, right off, like, this is great, this is better.
Yeah.
And let's go for it. And there's some times where this is great, I love it, but it's not what I wanted, and so it's a back and forth, and you can't take any of it personally.
That's a good thing to know, right?
You really can't. You gotta just let it go. You're always gonna feel like yours is better, but that's okay. But
guilty.
But a lot of times, like if you come across, in a positive way, and not trying to you're not the director, you're not the filmmaker, right. But especially, I've been doing this a long time, so sometimes, we can have good ideas too. We can have ideas that enlighten them or show them a way to do this, and it's more powerful. And so when it works, it's great, and when it doesn't work, it's okay. It's okay that it didn't work.
That's true.
But it's nice to be able to be creative and have that back and forth in that relationship.
Yeah, you've been doing this a long time. How long have you been doing it? Tell YouTube how long you've been doing it.
Well,
do you want to tell them? You have to tell them. Come on.
Well, I started in 1994. It was my first got hired for the first time at Todd-AO.
Nice, the famed Todd-AO.
Great company to work for many years, 21 years.
Do you remember what the first project you worked on back then?
Oh, man.
I know, I'm making you work right now.
Well, so I started in what we called, what's called the transfer room.
Department, yeah.
So just so many titles were coming and going. I mean, Heat was one of the first big projects I remember working on. It was a great film. With Michael Mann directed. Yeah. But there were so many others. I remember U2 Rattle and Hum. We were mixing that. But just so many cool things. I was just like...
And you were in the transfer room. So what was your job, or what were your first job in the...
So it's interesting. On some of these projects, even though I was in the transfer room as an apprentice to mix, I was getting a lot of opportunity to go on the stage, to sit with mixers, sit with directors. There was one day, actually, I don't know, this is a silly story, I guess,
I love silly stories.
I was snowboarding in Mammoth with Tony Jenkins, who's Chris Jenkins' brother, and they were working on a Sidney Pollack film, Sabrina.
Okay, yeah.
And Chris calls me and says, "Hey, I need you to come in and run reels for Sidney." And I said, "Oh, I could be there in about 4 hours." And he's like, "Perfect. I don't need you till 6.
That's great.
And I showed up in my gear, and I went in, and I ran reels with Sidney, and
that's awesome.
Started kind of, they were doing pre-dubs on one stage, and then we were playing back on another, and I was just, twiddling faders and sitting with Sidney Pollack, and then I'd go in the machine room, and I'd load the next reel and load the projector, because in those days it was all film, so I was kind of a one-man wrecking crew at that time.
I love it. So you've probably seen a lot of directors and had, over the span of 30 years, met some really
31.
Great filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit about what that process to kind of learn and some of the cool filmmakers that you've had the opportunity to work
the
with.
greatest experience, obviously, is meeting Billy Friedkin and working with Billy for almost 20 years from the time we met until the time he passed away in 2023.
And he was a big fan of you.
Now, I've worked with some of the best sound mixers in the world, and this guy's the best I've ever worked with. His name is Aaron Levy.
He was a big fan. I was a big fan of his, and that didn't mean that we always got along.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
We definitely had a few moments where, our heads collided, our thoughts collided, but always for the best. It was all about making sure we were telling the story that he wanted to tell, and not getting distracted with a sound or a moment or something that wasn't pushing the story forward, and really keeping the audience really focused. It was really important to him to keep the audience focused on what he wanted to keep the audience focused on, and not something else that might be happening either in the story or on the screen. And he was really good at eliminating extra things or extra sounds or anything to really get you to focus on what he wanted you to focus on.
I love that.
Usually it was dialogue, but not always.
Right.
Not always. There were a scene in Killer Joe where it was very visceral, the leather and the lighter and the flame, all the other sounds without a single background playing. I mean, it was MOS except for basically this Foley that was heightened to really just make you a sense of what they were doing at that moment. Really cool stuff. Really great experiences. I mean, I could tell stories for days about working with Billy.
Well, and working with someone like Billy, right? You talked about, you had your moments, right? You're like, oh yeah, we go back and forth. Now, I'm a big believer that we all need to know the technical stuff, right? But that is a given, right? All of us that do what we do at this level know how to edit, know how to mix. We should already, that's a no-brainer, right? Then comes the creative part where we bring our collective, years of mixing to the table, and now you're sitting with the director who you put something up that you think is standing up, and then you have a difference of opinion. Can you talk a little bit give some advice to those people who are in the situation who might find themselves like, oh, I'm stuck. I think this is good, but then I have a filmmaker who's saying, no, let's try this.
Right.
What is your advice?
Again, I mean, the beauty of being able to sit with directors or filmmakers or producers or anyone is being able to be in a situation where you're able to collaborate. There are situations where it's less collaborative and it's more button pushing, which, obviously is still a lot of work, but it's not always as enjoyable. It's really
nice. It's a different kind of work.
It's really nice to be able to collaborate because, you just feel like you're really putting something into this film that, people can enjoy and you're going to be able to enjoy, and the directors or the producers are all going to be really happy about. But again, to not take anything that you've done or that you've thought personally, or it's not against, it's just they have a different vision or they see it differently or hear it differently, and not everyone sees things the same way, hears things the same way, not everything gets processed the same way. And, just being able to have that communication and just be able to talk to them on the same level, know that they respect you for your craft and obviously you respect them for theirs. And it just, the back and forth can be a beautiful thing. And it doesn't have to be, like this.
Right.
I mean, it has been, not just for me, for a lot of people, but it also, is hugs and everything's beautiful. And again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. I love that concept of I think of it as checking your ego at the door.
Yeah, always.
Just because
and it's hard because everyone
as
has
mixers,
one.
I have an ego. We all have egos. But to be able to put that to the side and be open to saying, okay, it's your film.
Yeah.
It's not my film.
Yeah.
It's your film.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. You know, let's try this. But
Absolutely.
What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And working with Billy is interesting because he would leave me alone for most of the time. And he'd just be like, what time do you want me to come in?
Right.
And so he'd come in at 3 a lot or after lunch, a lot. and we'd watch a reel down. And, you know, usually it's like great, a couple little things here and there, but occasionally, you know, something would be all wrong.
Yeah.
And usually it's because he guided me wrong. It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, but like I said, one of our biggest kind of battles was where I just felt like he misguided me in a scene. And so we had a really good conversation about it, and he went storming out. And he came back the next day, and it was exactly how he wanted it. And it turns out it was more exactly how I wanted it. The funny thing is, it was originally a quiet scene, and then when he saw it, he wanted... the first time when we spotted it, he wanted to put a bunch of activity happening. It was like an office space, and he wanted phones ringing and secretaries. So we really busied it up. And then when he watched it all busy and really sounded good, he was like, "What is this? It's supposed to be, you know," and I'm like, "Billy, this is what you, you know, no, you know," and that's where the battle. And I said, "Don't worry. I can."
You make it right.
Don't worry about
Absolutely.
it, you know. But it was fun, and
that's great.
You know, yeah, we took I think the next day we each had a shot of tequila, and it was behind us.
Everything was good.
It was behind us.
Well, I want to finish up with the idea of relationships, right? Obviously, like with someone like with Billy Friedkin, you guys built a relationship, but over your career, talk about just how important relationships have been to your career.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the most important part of this this job and this lifestyle is when you meet someone, whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they made a good film, a bad film, to have a good relationship with that person, really try to understand who they are and what they want, because you know they're going to call you again if you can create that energy, and you want them to call you again. I mean, unless you hated the experience, but usually what we do, I love the experience. You know, working with first-time directors, you're able to really like even help them.
Educate,
you know, I've been
handhold
doing
a
this
little
so
bit.
long
Yeah,
that it's like, you know, I have great ideas, and usually they go over well. And I mean, I can't tell you how many first-time directors I've worked with now 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You know,
because of that first
experience.
It's
know?
almost
Great.
like they walked away saying, "Man, that was awesome."
I'm gonna every time I make a film, I'm gonna call that guy. A producer I work with, every time they work, they want to call you first, and are you available? And the answer should always be yeah. You're like, you find a way to be available. You're like, of course I'm available. For you, anything.
Anything. Oh, I love it. And that goes to like the customer service aspect of our industry, because that's really what it is. We're working for them. Like that experience, I always think about it like as, and I keep pointing over here, the credenza, you know, where the people are. It's always, hey, what do you want? And if we can, it's almost like, because my first job ever was working at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I worked at coffee. It was customer service. It was, hey, how you doing? Whatever you want.
I was at Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay, all right, good. Well, you want them to walk away with that experience, and you think about Trader Joe's. Anybody who's gone to a Trader Joe's always comes out like, man, those people were happy.
Yeah.
They were a crew. I'm coming back. You found your neighborhood store. It's just like Starbucks was like your neighborhood coffee store. Yeah. You want your mixed experience with directors to be like, hey, this is my neighborhood mixer. This is my family. This is my extension. This is where I come.
And no, it's great. And to that point, and I won't mention any names or titles, but I've had clients come in who had a bad experience with a mixer or a mixed team. And I had to come in, or we had to come in and kind of save the day and clean it up.
Right.
And that client, you know, is a repeat client now, friend.
Yeah.
You know, just had a great experience and attitude on the stage, and just really being like confident, but having a relationship that they enjoy, and that you can show them things and they can show you things. It's so important. I mean, it's the most important.
Yeah. That's a testament
because
to
the technical part, we all can make it louder. Up is louder, you know, all that, you know, EQ. There's a lot of technical things that we can all learn how to do. But when you can do it and still have that relationship, and then get into your craft with a passion that just changes what you're doing from what someone else is doing, and it just elevates it. I mean, it's just so important.
And right there, you've done the work, and you've created a new relationship. Really, it's a new experience for that filmmaker that makes them say, hey, I like that, and I want to come
I mean,
back
you look
to
at the Coen brothers. They've worked with Leslie Schatz, no one else for their entire career, and I'm sure he's doing something right. Would I love an opportunity to?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I hope Leslie messes something up one day and they give me a call.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the man.
And that's the truth. And I talk about that all the time. It's like, you know, you get directors like James Mangold who find their teams.
That's it.
You know, and it's like, I've been mixing with this team forever. And so
they know what each
create
other.
that experience and you get repeat customers.
That's the best. The way to do it.
Aaron, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. Aaron Levy, thank you so much for checking it out. Go check out all his work. I'll leave his IMDb link below in the description. And I will catch you either here in the side, one of these other videos, or in next week's episode.
Thank you, guys.